Los Angeles.
8 o'clock from KMPC. My name's Glen Gordon. Welcome to KMPC Forum.
Won't you come with me to Alabama? Let's go see my dear old mammy. She's frying eggs and broiling hammy. That's what I like about the South. Now there you can make no mistakey. Where those nerves are never shaky. Ought to taste her leg cakey. That's what I like about the South. She's got baked ribs and candied yams. Those sugar-cured Virginia hams. Basement's full of those berry jams. And that's what I like about the South. Hot corn bread and black-eyed peas. You can eat as much as you please. Cause it's never out of season. That's what I like about the South. Don't take one. Have two. They're dark brown and chocolate too. Suits me, they must suit you. Cause that's what I like about the South.
And anybody who's been listening to this radio station and following music for any time at all recognizes that voice as the unmistakable Phil Harris, who has many a title to his credits. A musician, a singer, a band leader, an actor, a master of the cartoon voiceovers, a golfer, amongst other things. He, of course, the longtime band leader on the Jack Benny Show, starred in the Phil Harris Alice Faye radio show for many years, was in the High and the Mighty, that great John Wayne movie, was one of the voices in The Jungle Book, and has had many a hit record, that amongst them. That's what I like about the South. And coincidentally, Phil Harris, our guest this evening between now and 9 o'clock here on KMPC. Phil, good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Glenn. It's nice to be with you.
It's nice to have you here, I assure you. Did you come from a fairly musical family?
My father was a clarinet player. He was with Ringling Brothers and Hagenbeck and Wallace. He was a circus man. And my mother could sing. I mean, when they went into stock company after the circus, she used to sing a little bit. But my father was a good musician, good clarinet player.
Did this mean you, as a family, traveled around the country a fair amount?
Well, I was more or less raised by my grandmother and grandfather because my mother and father were on the road with the circus. But during the time off from school, I would go on the road with them. Yes.
And when did you?
I'm the only one. I was just the only one in the family, only child.
I see you decided that you did not want to make a surface life yours. That's a circus life yours.
Well, I liked it, but it just didn't fall that way.
Did you know early on that you wanted to be a musician of some sort?
No, I knew I wanted to play drums. I mean, while the other kids, I came from a very small town, a beautiful little town called Linton, Indiana. That's about, it's between Terre Haute and Bloomington, the college, and about 5,000, coal mining town. And for some reason or other, I wanted to be a drummer. I had nothing to do with it, so I whittled out a couple of sticks and started fooling around, and that's the way it happened.
Did you play for folks around town?
Well, we had a little theater there, and my father finally got me a set of drums, and yes, I played in the theater, the little theater with about 2 or 3, a fiddle and a piano or something. And I started at a very early age. I was playing pretty good when I was around 10 or 11 years old.
And when did it turn into a professional thing?
Well, when my father finally got off the road, he had the band and the orchestra, rather, in the Knickerbocker Theater in Nashville, Tennessee. So we moved to Nashville, Tennessee right after I'd gotten out of grade school when I first started to high school. And I was playing pretty good then. So I went to work for my father in the orchestra, and that's when they had silent pictures. But they used to send the score, every when they had the big picture every week. So I was going to school and working for my father when I was very young, around 15, 16, 17 years old.
Didn't you do some things in the theater to kind of distinguish yourself as a person who accompanied the movies?
No, well, yes, I tell you, in Linton, I used to get a kick. I used to watch the comedies, Keystone comedies, and, where they're tying Pearl White on the railroad track, and a guy blows a whistle. So I'd send away, I think I was getting around $5 a week. And I'd send away and get a police whistle, and, when the cop would blow the whistle, I'd blow the whistle. And then I got a shot pad, a thing that made a noise like when the cowboys were shooting at one another. And the first thing you know, I guess that's why they called them trap drummers. I had ratchets and everything. I had horse hoofs to make the horses run. And I was getting a kick out of it myself. And then finally the people started liking it. And strangely enough, many years later, when I came to San Francisco, a very good friend of mine went to Paramount from San Francisco, a drummer, and did very well before they had talking pictures, you know? I mean, just by cueing the pictures himself.
Well, it's got to be fun for the audience and fun for you, who would otherwise just be, pounding the drum time and time again.
I don't know. I was having a good time. I don't know.
Where does the Dixieland syncopators fit into all of this?
That's Nashville. That's all. That was all Dixieland. We didn't have. They had it, but you didn't hear about country and western then. Not too much, you know. Folk, yeah, you heard, but Dixieland. That was it. Because you see, you had such great bands that came out of Memphis and New Orleans, and we had some great bands. And the original setup for a Dixieland band was 7 pieces. You had trombone, cornet, clarinet, and then your 3 rhythms, see?
Most drummers don't sing, at least none that I'm real familiar with. When did you first decide that you were going to be up front as well?
Well, I don't know. I think that actually happened when you see, when we first left Nashville, we were just a bunch of kids. I was in the first year of high school, and we had a Dixieland band. It was pretty good. And they heard us. It's a long story. They had a star come out, some lady star, Ruth Stonehouse. I'm going way back now. I'm in the 20s. And she heard the band and liked it and took us on the road with her a little bit, and we got to Denver. And the organist in the theater liked our band, and he said, I'm going over to Honolulu to open a theater. I'm going to send for you fellas. Well, we thought it was a joke. We go back. We never heard of Honolulu. We go back, and I'm talking about now, about 1921. And we go back and start the school, and sure enough, this guy gets a hold of us and sends us tickets, and we come out to Los Angeles, and we go on the city of Los Angeles. That was the one boat. I think it took about 5 days to go from Los Angeles to Honolulu. Mm-hmm. We went over and spent a year. We were a year in the theater, and the Hawaiian people loved that kind of music. In fact, the matter is, we'd be playing St. Louis blues, and they're hanging somebody on the screen. And those Hawaiian people would go crazy because they loved that rhythm. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And after the year, for some reason or other, the fellows all went back. My buddies all went back. My school chums all went back, and I didn't want to go. So I went to San Francisco, and I'd never been to San Francisco. But like I say, I was a pretty good drummer till I heard Buddy Rich, you know. So
well, he's hard to compete with.
Pardon?
He's hard to compete with as a drummer.
Yeah. I went to San Francisco, and then it's a long story. I worked with a lot of bands on the coast, you know, and then in 1928, I went down to Balboa, California, and that's when I got with Loeffner, and we started a band. That's when I first became I spent a year in Australia first. I went to Australia, and I had a good time in Australia. We were at a place out of Melbourne. Mm-hmm. They picked up 3 or 4 musicians from Los Angeles to augment with the Australians. The Australians were fine musicians, but they didn't have that, what you call jazz knack, you know what I mean?
But you weren't singing yet.
I started on the boat. When we were on the boat, I think it was 32 days or something, 21 days. And the 3 of us, well, there were 4 actually, but 3 of us, we didn't have anything to do, so we sat around and we copied George Olson. George Olson had a good trio at that time, sold a lot of records, you know, and the High Diddle Diddle and the Cat and the Fiddle. Mm-hmm. And we started singing, and we got a little trio, and the thing was a big hit in Australia.
That's great.
And that's the way it kind of happened, and then I came back to San Francisco again. It's a long, long story.
It seems in a lot of your songs, a lot of your hit records, seem to either be songs that were originally done by or songs close to the style of Bert Williams.
That was the man that was really responsible for me. I never met him, but I read all about him, and he was something else, you know. I mean, Ziegfeld, no matter who was in the show, it had Bert Williams had to be there, and I think that he was the most popular performer in that whole era. I mean, and that was Cantor and Jolson, and you had a lot of top stars at that time. But this man was phenomenal.
So you were fascinated by him?
By coming from the South, because even Linton, Indiana, you know, they have turnip greens and cornbread and black-eyed peas. It's just as southern as Nashville, Tennessee. So, and Indiana loves Dixieland. They still do. So anyway, that music appealed to me. So I made a collection of all of his things, and I started doing those during intermission. When Loeffner and I had the band at the St. Francis Hotel. We opened there in 1929. And during the intermission, I'd get on with the guitar player and do things like Nobody, and if he comes in, I'm going out, and a lot of Burt Williams things. And that was really a great, it was the kind of like the turning point for me.
Well, you certainly developed a very distinctive style, and although I have not heard Burt Williams' records, I'm sure that your interpretation was strictly Phil Harris.
Well, I never fooled much with the records because the recordings were so bad at that time. But I loved the lyric, you know, and I did all of my stuff off of his sheet music. He wrote a lot of things, you know. He started in vaudeville with another fella called Williams and Walker.
Uh-huh.
Then he finally became a tremendous star himself. Like I say, he was a top performer with Ziegfeld for years. But I just loved the lyric and the way he put the things together. You know, of course, that's what I like about the South. We wrote that ourselves, but and all I could think of was that was a kind of a funny instant, the way that happened. I hate to see, when I had a band, I hate to see people standing around while, you know, always a second trumpet player or somebody will lose a part. You know, you got 9,000 arrangements in there if you're on the road. So I never used to pick out a set before I'd open. I'd open with one tune, and then I'd ask them, what do you want to hear and everything. So in order to do that, after we'd stop a tune, I would start an 8-bar phrase, just a good tempo, just what we call an 8-bar turnaround.
Right.
So then I started putting lyrics to it, and the guys in the band had put lyrics to it, and some of them were a little risque, but we're doing it for ourselves. And the people started to gather around the bandstand. They wanted to hear what that was. You know, we'd play this little 8-bar phrase while the guys are getting out the next tune. So finally I said, well, they became so interested that I said, well, I better clean it up and put some good lyrics to it. So me coming from the South, all I could think about was food. So that's the way it happened.
Is this also where the references to this song having 5 million verses came from?
That's right. It had a lot of verses when we first started. Everybody gave a verse, you know.
Phil Harris is our special guest between now and 9 o'clock here at KMPC. My name's Glen Gordon. We will open the phone lines in a couple of moments, so if you'd like to call Phil with a question or just to say hello, 520-KMPC, the number from LA or the Valley, 520-5672. From Orange County, it's 977-KMPC, 977-5672. Before we take the break, I have the first of a few excerpts to play. It's not exactly Phil Harris, This Is Your Life, but maybe it'll bring back some memories. This first one from the Hollywood Spotlight Show in 1932. Where does this fit into things chronologically?
Well, in 1932, I opened the Coconut Grove with my own band. I left Loeffner at the St. Francis, and we were at the St. Francis 1929, 30, and 31. And then Mr. Frank, whom at that time was the owner of the famous Coconut Grove, the Ambassador Hotel, and Mr. McCabe, who was my manager of the St. Francis Hotel, and Mr. McCabe told him, he said, I have a fellow up here that I think that you should build a band around. So I left Loeffner at the St. Francis, and I went to the Coconut Grove, and that's in 1932, and that's when that happened.
Let's take a listen to Phil Harris on the Hollywood Spotlight Show from 1932.
Here we are again. This is Tom Jeffrey, folks, introducing the brilliant array of talent we've lined up for you. Phil Harris, accompanied this time by charming Leah Ray, Jerry Cole, the troubadour of Hollywood, Larry Burke, and, of course, the original slow brain through Arkansas, Bob Burns. Well, Phil Harris, yours is the honor to start our show this time.
Our next effort is a duet. Leah Ray will sing, and I'll just make a noise like a Harris. And I think the result will be, let's put out the lights and go to sleep.
Bit by bit, putting it together.
You might think a company like Xerox wouldn't have much to say to a small business person like yourself. But don't touch that dial.
Putting it together.
Because Xerox has put together something extraordinary. The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee. Finally, a guarantee that lets you decide when you're satisfied.
Putting it together. That's what counts.
Now, if you buy or lease any Xerox equipment and you're unhappy with it during the first 3 years, Xerox will replace it. Simple as that. No tricky legal clauses or loopholes, just a total commitment to customer satisfaction, no matter what size customer you are.
Putting it together.
The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee. Call 1-800-TEAM-XRX, extension 910A for all the details. Xerox, the document company.
Putting it together. Sell your old Chevrolet in Irvine and make it pay. Put your sailboat up for sale. Do it today. Who's on Orange County side? The registered classified. Call 558-3311. Find a clerk in Costa Mesa who's a Cracker Jack. Hire a secretary who is sharp as a tack. Who's on Orange County side? The registered classified. Call 558-3311.
When you have something to sell, nothing works better than the Orange County Register Classified.
Sell your house in Fullerton, in Orange, sell your bike. Rent your place in Tustin as soon as you would like. Who's on Orange County side? The registered classified. Call 558-3311. 558-3311.
It's KMPC Forum on a Sunday evening. My name's Glen Gordon. Very honored to be joined this evening by longtime entertainer Phil Harris. He's with us between now and 9 o'clock. And I'll give out the phone numbers, letting you know in advance that we'll go to phone calls in probably 10, 12 minutes. There are already a few of you on the lines, and just a couple available at either 520-KMPC or 977-KMPC from Orange County. When was it that you first signed with NBC?
Oh, gee, I'm bad on numbers. I'm bad on time. I've always been.
Well, I could never correct you. You could just come up with any year, and I'd say that's very interesting. I understand.
Well, that's the great thing about growing old, you know. I can say I know what I'm talking about because I was there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I am, gee whiz. See, we were actually on NBC. We were doing remotes from the St. Francis, and at that time they had a tremendous wattage because we got mail from, oh my God, from all up in Canada, Alaska, from all over the United States, you know, something like 500,000 watts or something. I mean, it was called, at that time, I think it was called KGO.
In San Francisco?
Yes, in San Francisco. So I've been doing, you know, either remotes or something for many, many years. You know, I mean, when we were playing hotels, but we were never under contract at that time. I think actually the first time, see, I had my own show before I went with the Jack Benny show. I was on for Q-Tex nail polish with J. Walter Thompson for about 78 weeks. That was radio.
Right.
And so I guess that's about the first. It must have been in 33.
So you were doing primarily a musical show each week?
Yes, that's actually what we were doing. Yes, a musical show, a half-hour musical thing.
Let me bring Gloria in at this point because I believe that her father was part of your band. Gloria, good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Mr. Harris.
Yes.
My name is Gloria. My dad was Ralph Dadisman.
My God. You know, I was just thinking about him.
Were you
God
really?
love him. I was just thinking about him the other day. In fact, the matter is, I often, what she's talking about, Glen, is actually the original band.
Yes.
And, gee whiz, Gloria, it's been a long, long time, you know?
Yes, it has. I was just a little girl when I met you.
I know that. I remember when I met you, and then shortly, you know, later on, your dad started making beautiful fishing rods.
Uh-huh, and smoked fish and
yeah,
ribs.
I was very fond of your father. He was a fine, fine man. And then I remember when he went to work out at the mall. You remember the new mall out in the valley?
Yes, Bullock's, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he passed away. I guess you knew that.
How long ago?
1983.
In 83.
He just turned 80.
Yeah, that's right.
But I'm so glad that you're still active. You know, I haven't heard anything about you or read anything.
Well,
and I got so excited when I heard you were going to be on today because I listen to the station all the time.
You still live in Los Angeles?
I'm living in the Valley. I just recently was widowed, and my mother's in a nursing home, so I can't wait to tell her I talked to you.
Please give my love to your mom.
I sure will.
Thank you.
Well, it's sure nice talking to you, and you brought back a lot of memories. I'm looking through the whole band now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you.
Thanks,
right.
Gloria.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Was Remley that famous character in your original band as well?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Frankie, I met him when we were going to Honolulu. He was playing on the boat when we came out to go to Honolulu. And after I came back, we became very close friends. And, of course, the character wasn't played by him on the air, but Benny loved him because Jack used to take him everywhere because he had such a tremendous sense of humor, you know. I mean, he was a very, very charming man and a great loss.
How did you get associated with the Benny Show?
Well, when I was in New York, I was staying at the Essex House when I had my own band, and so they were living there too, and he and Mary, and we became friends. And then I don't know, I had my own kind of a routine then. I'd play like the Pennsylvania, and then I'd go from there to Cincinnati to the Netherlands Plaza. Then I would go from there to the Adolphus in Dallas, from there to the Roosevelt in New Orleans, and from there to the Hollywood Dinner Club in Galveston, and all around in this circle. And by that time, I was doing my radio show that I told you.
Yeah.
And he was kind of between shows because he'd been with Chevrolet and Clico Club or something, and they didn't like the way he kidded the product. There was something in there, you know. And anyway, but we became very good friends. So I was in New Orleans, and I get a call from Music Corporation, and they said, George Burns wants you to go on his show. Well, I had a deal. I had a contract with these people, and I finally talked to Seymour Weiss, who was the manager of Roosevelt Hotel. I said, gee whiz, I got a chance to get back in action here. And so he let me break my contract, and by the time that I got out took the band out to California, something happened, and Music Corporation had given the job to Wayne King. So now Jack is out there. Of course, he's very big now. And he was out there, and he and Mary invited me out to dinner. And that night at the dinner table, he said, what show are you doing now? What radio show? I said, I haven't got one. He said, well, you're with me. And that's the way it happened.
So it's really quite spontaneous. You weren't expecting it.
Right spot at the right time.
Did your character on that show start out a little bit more low-key than it eventually became?
Well, you know, Jack's whole thing, he was an artist. There'll never be anybody like Benny, because what he used to do is to try to take some little thing. He had to find something and then magnify it, you know, I mean, make it so big that it was ridiculous. Like, you know, I mean, my goodness, if I drank as much as he said I did, I'd be falling off the floor.
Right.
And the same thing with like with Dennis. He had to find the first time we found Dennis in New York when he came to rehearsal, Jack said something to him, and he said, "Yes, please." Well, that's all he had. Now he's in, you know, and like with Rochester, when Rochester, you know, they wanted somebody with a real Southern, you know, black man, and then he magnified it, and that's the way it happened. Like Jack said, he said, "You're the most remarkable guy I've ever seen." He said, I got you out of 10 floors down in a dive. I brought you out. I had you drinking with both hands. Then I had you married, and you had 2 kids, and I put you. He said, "I can't kill you."
But did it evolve gradually? In other words, were you ever really close to being the straight band leader, or were you always sort of a character?
Well, I don't know. Like I told you, I guess I must have handled it pretty good. I wound up all right.
Well, no, it was wonderful. I was just curious if it started that way or whether it gradually evolved.
You know, I mean, I guess that I guess it was all on account of, you know, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it was my personality, because I always loved people. I could never be alone. I always had to be with somebody. I like to take a drink. I don't mind taking a drink, but I never let it take charge of me. I smoked a little bit, and when I wanted to quit, I quit. There's nothing I can't stop if I want to stop it. You know, that's why I feel so sorry for people that are smoking cigarettes. I mean, it's all mental. I mean, I smoked pretty good. I must have smoked for 30 or 40 years, but when I found out they were hurting me, I quit.
Let's go back to a portion of the Jack Benny Show. This is from April 17th, 1947, featuring Phil Harris.
Hiya, Jackson. Hello, kids.
Phil, come on in here. Huh?
Yeah, what are you doing, Jackson? Kind of looking over some of the old routines, huh? So we can... Holy smoke, who put that sand on the floor?
Oh, I'm sorry, Phil. Let us help you out.
No, Jackson.
Phil, let us pick you up. It won't be the first time. Come on.
Leave me alone. I'll do it myself. The last time somebody helped me up, they bumped my head on the curb.
Oh, all right, have it your own way. Anyway, I'm busy rehearsing for the show, you know.
Say, Jack, when do we arrive in Chicago?
Watch for the day, the 7th of May. And our show opens at the Chicago Theater on the 9th. Now, Phil, have you thought about your act for the stage show?
Don't worry about me, Jackson. Don't worry. After the dull stuff you're going to do, I'll walk out and throw that Harris smile on them and melt the butter on their popcorn.
What?
And then I'll hit them with 30 or 40 courses of That's What I Like About the South.
30 or 40 choruses?
Well, I haven't got time to give it all to them. As a matter of fact, when I play a theater, I make them take the bulbs out of the marquee and put my picture up there.
Your picture? Why don't you let them put your name up there?
I don't trust nobody. How do I know what they're spelling?
Oh, yes. I never thought of that.
You know something, Jackson? I got to get that billing that I deserve. I'm a great comedian.
Oh, fine. Some great comedian. He's got 2 shows on NBC, and he hasn't been cut off the air once.
Phil Harris on the Jack Benny Show here at KMPC. So that excerpt must have been after the Phil Harris-Alice Faye show began.
I don't know. I was with him quite a while before we started our own show. Our own show came from the Fitch bandwagon, which used to follow us, you remember?
Yeah, well, only because I've heard.
Yeah, the Fitch bandwagon. See, the Fitch bandwagon was a big show that always used bands, and was followed us so naturally, followed the Benny show so naturally. It had a big rating, and it was a big show. So I played that a couple of times, and then finally they liked me, and I went to Jack, and I said, I got a chance to do this show with a little situation comedy and to use Alice, and he said, go ahead. And by the way, when they were talking about opening that Chicago theater and that routine, you realize we did 8 shows a day when we would go into a theater.
8 shows?
8 shows. They start at 7:30 in the morning. That's how popular that Jack Benny was. And I'll tell you something else. It'll never happen again. On Sunday, when he's on his program, that theater would not have a person in it if they didn't stop the picture and do that 30-minute show. They might as well close the theater.
He just seemed like a really amazing man.
Phenomenal.
One of the things that I noticed from just listening to the show, he was never afraid to let other people get a bigger laugh than he got.
Most generous man you'd ever meet in your life. That's why the cheap thing was so funny. If you'd have been cheap, it wouldn't have been funny, would it? Like he said to me, you keep drinking that way and it won't be funny anymore.
Mm-hmm. Terrence, good evening. You're on KMPC with Phil Harris.
Hi, Mr. Harris. I'm 15 years old, and I'm a member of Spurdvac, and I love your work on the Jack Benny Show.
I can't hardly hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm 15 years old, and I love your work on the Jack Benny Show.
Well, that's very sweet. What's your name?
Terrence.
Karen?
Terrence. Terrence.
K-A-R-E-N?
T-E-R-E-N-C-E.
Oh, hi.
Like Terrence. Terrence.
It's not a good connection, but I thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, I've gotten hours and hours of the Jack Benny Show. But I wanted to know if you remember the show where the garbage men emptied your garbage and they did all the pinch bottles?
What? I didn't hear.
The what bottles, Terrence?
The pinch bottles.
The pinch bottles.
Is that my show or the Benny Show?
The Benny Show.
No, honey, I don't. How'd it go? What was it?
I don't know. I've never been able to get it. I was hoping maybe you could give me a date on it.
No, honey, I can't. I'm bad on dates. Gee whiz, when you stop to figure 18 years and 39 shows a year.
Gee, that many?
That many. 39 shows a year.
One for each of Jack Benny's years.
That's right.
Terrence, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. He joined us with Phil Harris. Phil Harris, our special guest between now and 9 o'clock here on KMPC. Two questions regarding you and your relationship with your lovely wife, Alice. One of them is, where did the two of you meet?
Well, first we met in New York. They took me into New York from the Coconut Grove in Los Angeles to the Pennsylvania Roof. I had met Valley before when he came out here when he was on vacation, and we became pretty good friends. So when he wanted to leave the Pennsylvania Roof, Rudy, he said there's only one man. They asked him who that he thought, because he was a tremendous success in New York. And they said, who do you think that we could get that could follow you? And he said, if you could get him, I'd say Phil Harris. So that was my first trip to New York. That's in '33.
So you met there the first time?
And Alice was singing with him. When I took his place, they were there my opening night, and that's where I first met Alice. But then I didn't see her again until she was a big star.
And then you met again, and it was love and kisses, and everything is history.
We were both living in Encino, and we both kind of raised Doberman pinchers.
Mm-hmm.
I went down to this little grocery. There weren't many people in Encino then. That was 1940. And I had my dog with me, and this Doberman pinscher was there, and they got in a tremendous fight. And we finally got them apart. I said, who owns the dog? They said, Alice Faye owns the dog. And I said, why doesn't she keep it at home? I said, well, the dog is funny, but at 5 o'clock when she finishes at the studio, the dog will be home. So I thought, well, gee whiz, I'll give her a call and tell her that, the dog shouldn't be running loose like that. And we got into a conversation, and the first thing you know, boom.
So the dogs brought you together?
That's right.
How did it come about that you two launched into doing your own radio show, which ultimately became the Harris-Faye program?
Well, just because when we had our first child, Alice refused. She said that she just wanted to take care of the child, or wanted to have some children. So she, when her contract terminated at 20th Century, she said, that's it. And so we had our first daughter in 1942, and so that's when it happened. It was good for her because it gave her something to do, and the program was a very popular program. We were on for 7 years, and it was very successful.
It was a great show. When I first began to listen to these dramas and the comedies in my youth, which was several years after they went off the air, probably my favorite series was the Phil Harris Alice Faye show, in large part due to your relationship with Remley, who I guess at that point was played by Elliot Lewis.
Elliot Lewis, yeah, terrific guy. And then we had Julius, who was a big part of the show. But you know, the most beautiful thing about it, and while all this is happening, the first thing you know, Jack Benny and the whole Sunday lineup, with the exception of me, go to CBS. Now, CBS is about a block away down the street on Sunset, see? And for some reason or other, I stayed at NBC. And I was practically the only thing on Sunday for a while after they left. And Jack Benny was kind enough that he would put me on the first 15 minutes of his show, and then I'd break and run through the alley and go in to warm up my show. That's what kind of a man he was.
That's amazing. That could never happen now.
Will never happen again, you know. I mean, but that's the type of guy he was. He was something else. And that went on and on and on for quite a while, you know. I mean, I think I spent almost 18 years with him.
Phil Harris, our special guest here on KMPC Forum. My name is Glen Gordon. There are several of you on the telephones. We will get to you in just a couple of moments. Want to play an excerpt of the Phil Harris Alice Faye show, this one also from 1947.
Hey, Julius, we need you.
Where are you? I can hear you, but I can't see you.
We're here in the fireplace.
Well, that's a natural place for a couple of clinkers. This ain't the first time you guys made ashes of yourselves. What are you doing in the fireplace?
We're trying to reach Willie.
Where's he?
In the chimney.
Come in here and help us. We want to give you a boost up the chimney so you can reach Willie and pull him down.
Well, all right, I'll do it for Miss Faye's sake. Go ahead, give me a boost, Mr. Harris.
Okay, come on now, Frankie, help me.
All right.
Easy with him now.
All right, push him up there.
That's it. Can you reach him, Julius?
Yeah, I got his feet. It's all sooty in here.
Never mind, Dad. Pull on his legs.
Okay. Uh-oh. Fellas, this guy is awful loose-jointed. One of his feet just came off. Oh, it's his shoe.
Julius, I'm almost loose. Pull just a little harder.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you, Julius. You finally got me out.
Oh, brother, what a mess we are.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. We're all covered with soot. All right, funny man, what are you laughing at?
You guys look like 3 pieces of burnt toast.
Get on, beat it out of here, grocery boy.
The Phil Harris show from 1947. The timing on that episode and all of the others was really impeccable, the way that you and everyone played off of each other.
Well, they were great performers, you know. I mean, my goodness, Julius, what's his name? Anyway, this kid was the kid who was playing Julius. I'm at a loss right now. I'm sorry, but I was thinking about several other things. He'd been a star since he was a kid. Those people that were working with me were all professional performers. You know, they were all extras. Like they worked on the Benny Show. They worked on the Fibber McGee and Molly. They worked on all the top shows, you know. I mean, you weren't fooling with any amateurs, and we had top writers, you know. I mean, these writers, they knew what they were doing, you know.
Was any of the material ad-libbed?
Well, it's tough to ad-lib. You can't fix an ad-lib. It has to happen. if you try to set the fluff up, it won't work. It won't play.
But undoubtedly you had them.
Well, once in a while, if you become smart. You can make a bad mistake too fooling around. Sometimes it comes out, and when it comes out, it works. But don't plan on it. It's just like Jack Benny used to say: you can never bet your life that a joke's going to play, because you can never tell who's going to be in the audience. You might have a room full of nuns, or you might have a room full of non-believers, because all of your audiences are coming off the street. You don't know who you got, so you can't go say, I'll bet you the farm that this joke is going to play,
So some nights the same joke would go over real well, and other nights it might bomb.
Well, we only use it one night. We only got one shot, on the air.
Understood. I was just sort of relating that perhaps to being in concert and performing live.
Oh, I guess if you were doing an act, you'd take it out about the second time it didn't play. I would.
I don't think I'd ever do an act, so we didn't have to ask that question for me.
Yeah.
Madge, good evening. You're on with Phil Harris.
Hi, Phil Harris. I think you're just so wonderful.
Well, thank you.
And October 17th, 1936, Lenny and I were married, and we went to see you at the Palomar and danced to your music, and we have always loved it ever since. And I watch everything you do on golfing and everything. And
well, that's lovely. That was at 3rd and Vermont, right?
Yes.
That's right. That was a very famous dance hall.
Yes.
The Palomar. And I'm so happy to speak to you, and I'm so happy that you're well.
Oh, thank you, Phil Harris. And I watch everything that you ever do. Thank you so much, and hi to Alice.
I shall, and you're sweet. You made my night.
Thank you, Madge.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That's nice, 1936. That's back there a few.
Well, just a couple.
Yeah. That's a baker's dozen right there.
Did you get much formal acting training, or did you just sort of pick it up on the streets, as it were?
Well, I was, like I told you, I was more or less born into show business. My father and mother were both in show business, and so I guess it, pardon me, strange ice. No, I've had a little bronchial trouble, and it's not serious, but sometimes I have to clear my throat. I'm terribly sorry.
Well, you're sounding great. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
Well, but no, I guess it's just it's a trite expression, I guess, but it just came natural. I didn't have much to do with it. It just seemed to flow along. It's like you find natural swimmers, natural golfers, natural pool players, natural tennis players. It was just one of those things that was natural. It was something that I know that one of the major things was that I couldn't wait to get to work. And it was that way all my life. I loved what I was doing. And I can't understand people that squawk about having to go to work. I don't understand that, because gee whiz, I couldn't wait to get to work. I loved doing what I was doing so much that I just wanted to keep doing it all night. I mean, I'd go from my place to another nightclub or another place. I loved entertainment. I loved people, and I think that had a lot to do with it, because I'll tell you something, and I still do. I still enjoy it, and I'll be June the 24th, I'll be 87 years old.
Well, it definitely shows, and everything I've ever heard and seen you do, it comes out that you're doing it because you like to.
It's been so good to me. I mean, I have never had a bad moment. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've been busted when I was young. I was busted, I don't know how many times, but I at least, I had a vocation. I had something, like I say, I was a pretty good drummer. Mm-hmm. I never lost a job on account of being inebriated or or causing trouble or causing disturbance or anything. I never lost a job. I'd go from one job to another, but I always left good friends.
Can't ask for anything more than that.
That's right.
Ted, good evening. You're on KMPC with Phil Harris.
Mr. Harris.
Yes, sir.
Phil, how are you?
Fine.
I don't know whether you would remember my name or not. My name is Ted Tiss, T-I-S-S, and I think you knew my father, Wayne Tiss, very well, who was vice president of Barton, Durston, and Osborne Advertising Agency.
I certainly did.
Thank you.
Yes, I did.
He passed away a few years ago, but even after he retired, he always talked about you and Alice and Jack and Mary.
He was a good friend of Walter Bunker's, too.
Yes, he was. Walter Bunker, right. We go back a few years.
That's right. And
but I just wanted to say hello to you, and we met several times when I was a younger man, but I just wanted to say hello to you tonight, and it's just great to hear you again on the radio and kind of remember the other days.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tiss, and I'll tell Alice you said hello.
All right, fine.
Thank
you very much, Phil.
Right.
Right, bye-bye.
And now we go to Janice. Good evening.
Hi. Well, Mr. Harris, this program has really unleashed a flood of memories. I used to dance down in Balboa when you were Loftner and Harris.
1928.
God, yes. And then I ran into you again in Dallas. I thought it was the Baker, but you said the Adolphus.
The Adolphus.
Yeah, you were playing tea dances. And I sent up a note with the waiter requesting stick out your can, here comes the garbage man. And you looked over, and I had a deep tan, and everybody else was lily white in those days in Texas. And you came over to the table and invited me and my guest to come to, you were in the...
I can't hardly hear you, honey.
You were in the executive suite or something.
Right.
And after we went up and you played the piano and everything, and I met you again in Los Angeles. But I just wanted to say, boy, did it roll back the years hearing you tonight.
It's very nice. That brings back a lot of memories because that's when Leah Ray was with me.
Yeah. Do you remember Stick Out Your Can, Here Comes the Garbage Man?
I actually do. Pardon me. I remember that tune.
Oh.
I know we didn't play it, but I got a kick out of you.
Yeah, in Dallas, when I sent up that note, you looked right over it, and you thought, there's an old California gal.
Janice, we got to move on, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
wonderful hearing you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's KMPC Forum on a Sunday evening. My name's Glen Gordon, joined for a few more moments by the legendary Phil Harris. I have been wanting to talk to this man for a long time, and it is a wish come true this evening. And from the number of people waiting on the telephones, I am not alone in wanting to talk with Phil Harris. 520-KMPC or 977-KMPC. The number is from L.A. or Orange County. We'll get to a few more of you between now and 9 o'clock. How was it that you became associated with Disney?
Oh, gee whiz. Well, Walt Disney used to come to the Coconut Grove years ago, and when I was there, but I never worked for him, and I think it was during Jungle Book. I made Jungle Book, and then after Jungle Book, we did Aristocats, and after Aristocats, we did Robin Hood, and then I did a small thing, I think it was called The Adventures. But Baloo in Jungle Book did more for me than it was like Jack Benny over again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because all the younger people, the young kids and everything, thank goodness, their mother used to say, that's Baloo, you know? So it was a tremendous, tremendous boost for me.
I know lots of people who are familiar with it, so your work is well admired in that and all the other things we've been discussing thus far tonight. Francis, good evening. You're on with Phil Harris.
Hi, Phil. Hi.
Hi.
In about 1936, my late husband, Ernie Diven, played the circus in the garden under Merle
I
Evans.
can't hear her.
You're going to have to talk a bit louder, Francis.
In about 1936, my late husband, Ernie Diven, played the circus in Madison Square Garden under Merle Evans. Were you around then?
Merle Evans was the trumpet player, was the cornet player. We used to call him Leather Lungs. He was one of the great cornet players. He was a very big favorite of my father's.
Yeah.
No, see, when my father was, Merle Evans was the leader of Ringling Show, the Ringling Brothers. But when I'm talking about, honey, is back in the 20s.
Well, when my husband played with
the early 30s.
When my husband played with him, he was the leader in the garden.
Well, Merle was the leader.
Yes.
Yeah, Merle Evans was, everybody in show business knew him at the time because he was a great cornet player.
Francis, thank you very much. And now we go to Betty. Good evening. You're on with Phil Harris.
Hello?
Hello, Betty.
Hi, Phil?
Yes.
This is Betty Jane. Betty Jane Halstead.
No kidding. Honest to God.
Honest to God. I was listening to the show, and I couldn't believe it.
My God. Listen, I've always wanted to know, when did Henry pass away?
In 84.
84. Where was he? Was he up at the Arrowhead or San Bernardino?
No, he was in Hemet.
He went from Phoenix to Hemet, huh?
No, he was in San Diego for many years, and then...
well, he was doing real estate, wasn't he, in Phoenix?
Right.
How is your daughter? No, it was your mom.
My mom?
Yeah, you're the daughter, right?
Right.
That's right. Is your mom still living?
No, I lost Mom, too.
Well, I'm sorry, but gee whiz, it's nice hearing from you. Where do you live?
I live in Manhattan Beach.
This young lady that I'm talking to now, Glen, is one of the big band leaders. Her father was one of the big band leaders in San Francisco when I was a sideman.
That's great.
I went to work with him, and I worked with him for years before I ever dreamed that I was going to have my own band.
Betty, thank you very much.
Okay, Phil. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Betty.
Bye-bye.
Ain't it gee whiz? I love you.
Well, I love you, too.
All right, honey.
Bye-bye.
I told you we had a great audience, Phil.
Yeah, but that's a kick right there.
And now we go to Mrs. Scatman Crothers. Howdy.
Hello.
Hi.
I want to talk to Phil.
How are you, honey?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, considering still.
I know.
I just had to call you when that lady said, stick out the can, here comes the garbage man. Scott used to do that on Chico and the Man.
I can't hear you, honey.
When that lady said, stick out your can, here comes the garbage man, Scott used to do that on Chico and the Man.
I know he did. And you know something?
Boy, you know what? It's a coincidence. I have a note here. I went through Scott's book, and I saw your number, and I got a note sitting here, call Phil Harris at home.
Well, you know, he was one of my closest friends.
I know that, Phil. He loved you.
And I loved him. We go back many, many years.
I know, and you guys did the Aristocrats together and everything, and God, it's just like old times hearing you. You're so great.
Well, I'll tell you something, honey. It must have been a terrific loss to you because he worked so terribly hard all his life, and then right when he was on the very top, he had to pass away.
Yeah, we were together 49 and a half years, almost a half a century. I met him when I was 17 years old.
I know you did.
It's hard to believe. God, I miss him so much, Phil.
I know it. I know you do, honey, because so does everybody. But, you know, I loved him dearly.
I know. Listen, there's a book coming out about him in October.
There is?
Yeah, William Morrow is putting it out about his life and everything, from Indiana, when he was a kid, on up to the end.
Yeah, he came from Vincennes, right near me, or Terre Haute.
He came from Terre Haute, Indiana.
Terre Haute, I know.
He was sick in bed when they came up and said they wanted to do a book on him. And so William Morrow sent some people up, and they started talking to me, and I finished the book. I went down to Mexico to finish it up, so we can get it out.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, honey, I love you, and you got my number. Call me anytime.
Thank you very much. And now, Sarah, good evening. You're on with Phil Harris.
Hi, Mr. Harris. How are you?
Fine.
I've enjoyed you from the time I first saw you on the Orpheum stage in Los Angeles in '39.
Oh, my
But
God.
about 12 years ago, we were on a cruise where you and Alice and Edgar Bergen was... we were going
in Alaska.
Right, and you went with us on all the tours on the land. And the bus broke down, and we all played Charlie McCarthy for Edgar Bergen.
You remember that night he had Mortimer Snerd on when you went through the glaciers?
Right.
And he said to Mortimer Snerd, he says, what did you think of the glaciers? And Mortimer Snerd said there was so goddamn much ice I couldn't see a thing.
I remember that very well. But I just thought I'd call and remind you of the great time we had when we went to the Bouchard Gardens and so forth.
Thank you, honey.
Say hello to Alice. We have pictures of both of you with us.
Well, you're very sweet to call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right.
Bye-bye. And now probably our last call of the evening. Jack, good evening. You're on with Phil Harris.
Hi, Phil.
Yeah.
My wife and I, before we were married, we used to dance with you 2 or 3 times a week at the old Wilshire Bowl. I think you owned it.
That on Wilshire Boulevard, yeah.
The Wilshire Bowl. And you used to do a song out there we still remember called Minnie the Mermaid.
Minnie the Mermaid, that's right.
Do you remember that?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, those are the days that I was with Jack, too. You're talking about the 40s now.
Right,
and
yeah,
that's
early
when Alice
40s,
and
before
I were
World War
married
II.
in 1941.
Yeah, right. And,
it's nice of you to call.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a nice night. Phil, I don't know how to say the amount of pleasure you've brought to all of us, for me in particular, and it's been a real delight having you on the program.
I'll tell you what I wish you'd do for me. Did you record this thing? If you could send me a tape, I'd appreciate it.
You got it. That's the very least I could do. I'll send it out Federal Express.
I appreciate it, Glenn, and I hope sometime I get to meet you because you brought back a lot of memories to me tonight.
Well, thank you very much. Can you hold on just a second? Jan will pick up the phone and get your address off the air.
Yeah.
All right. Phil Harris, thank you very much for joining us here on KMPC Forum.